give my thoughts on the phone call between Donald Trump and Volodymyr Zelenskyy from Ukraine. I've heard that they made a call. I've not heard anything about the contents of that call, and I don't know if we ever will. But I want to give you my thoughts on the situation. First of all, I think that Donald Trump would be a far more effective leader in negotiating an end to the war in Ukraine. I think it's important that an end to that war happens, because until that time, things are just going to keep escalating and more people are going to be dying over there, and there's no reason for that. What is clear, however, is that the Ukrainians are not going to be pushing the Russians completely out of their country. That's just not going to happen. The Russian war machine is too large. There are too many people in Russia, especially in comparison to Ukraine. It's a far smaller country, and they just do not have the numbers to actually push Russia out of Ukraine 100%. That being said, Russia has lost a ton in this war. Their national debt has exploded. Hundreds of thousands of their men have been killed or wounded in the fighting. Their oil exports have collapsed. Well, they dropped quite a bit initially. They're up a little more now. But regardless, it has been a huge strain on the Russian economy, and there's no reason for Putin to want to continue this war. He has already secured the initial goal for this war, which is a land bridge to Crimea. Of course, I'm sure that Putin would love to have taken the whole country, but that land bridge to Crimea is a strategic position and important for supplying the Russian Black Sea Fleet, much of which has been destroyed in this war through the use of actual suicide drones, both in the air and on the sea. Ukraine's been using these effectively kamikaze boats to try and sink several Russian warships, and they've succeeded in sinking several Russian warships. So, the ultimate point is that the war has been a disaster for both countries, and we need a leader in the White House who's going to be able to bring about a peaceful solution to that war. That solution is going to include concessions to Russia, in which they keep most or all of what they have captured militarily. Potentially, it could include land swaps or that kind of thing. But regardless, there needs to be ultimately a peaceful solution in this war. Ukraine is not going to defeat Russia at this point. If defeat means pushing them all the way back to the pre-2022 borders, or even the pre-2014 borders when they invaded Crimea for the first time. On the other hand, if Russia wanted to take the whole of Ukraine, it would take years on end. It would take a removal of Zelenskyy from power and somebody who's more pro-Russian getting into power. And for those reasons, we need Donald Trump back in the White House to negotiate an end to this conflict.